Hi, everybody. I'm Marie Withered, and thank you for joining us today. I'm joined today by Marcé Olivier, one of our Globetrotters. Marcé, why don't you tell our listeners and viewers a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Marcé. I'm 42 years old, father of three, happily married for the last, call it 20 years, as that's the closest number. And yes, I am currently a deployment engineer for a company called BCT in the Netherlands.
And why did you want to move abroad?
Look, I was based in South Africa for about 41 years, and I've seen everything it had to offer. And between my wife and myself, we had a conversation, and we just felt that we needed to go somewhere different and needed a bit of a change. And that's how a journey was started. But funny enough, is I wasn't looking at the Netherlands itself. I was looking between Canada and Singapore, and then Olav approached me, and they basically introduced me to what the Netherlands has to offer. And the more I read, the more I appreciated it, and the more I wanted to make the journey happen.
When did your journey actually start? Like, how long have you been in the Netherlands? Did you work remotely from South Africa before then?
Well, as of this recording, I've been in the Netherlands for a little over a month and a half, and actually started working remotely for them in South Africa on the 1st of March already. So I was working in South Africa for them for about 2 months. And then once we landed end of April, started working for Olav in the Netherlands.
Okay, and when Olav first approached you with this job opportunity, did you do any bit of research? Did you already know about them? What made you? Was the deciding factor from like, yeah, I'm gonna go with these guys?
Well, it's just the fast, friendly, and efficient service that you get. I mean, for me, it was quite a quick journey from start to finish. It took, I just want to get the timeline correct, but from the day that I signed my contract to the day that we entered the Netherlands was 3 months.
Geez, that's quick.
And that is very quick. I mean, and even the interview process, when I asked, back in the day, it wasn't even that I asked, I say back in the day, that was only December. I told her we can start the interview process in Jan, because unfortunately with December's, knowing how rough that goes, we didn't want to just go through all the motions and all the steps in December. So early Jan, we started going through all the motions, and by end of Jan, I had a signed contract, and then the real work started. But as to the reason why I chose Olav, is just they make it easily understandable of what is involved every step of the way. They actually involve your partners early on to explain to them as well, so everybody's on the same page that we're working towards a specific goal. And yeah, it just made the journey and the acceptance of where we're going to go so much easier. I didn't have to have a whole sales pitch to get my family involved with it. The kids are on board, the missus is on board. It was actually quite an amazing journey.
Brilliant. So, what was it like when you told the family back home, like, hey, we're packing our bags and we're moving abroad. We're moving to Europe. Cheers, bye.
Well, the first emotion was shock. Again, you can always see that on the people's face, and then it's a bit of non-believing, and then once it actually seeps in and they see you preparing for the journey, it's like, why the Netherlands? There's so many questions about why the Netherlands. But the Netherlands just offers opportunities from a family man perspective, many opportunities for the kids, which is what I mean most parents is after. There's opportunities for the kids in a safe environment where they can grow up and be themselves and still have a life ahead of them filled with opportunities.
Was it, you said it didn't take a lot of convincing for the kids, but how did they adjust here? It's only been a month. It's summer, so it's very nice for them to just go outside. But yeah, how has settling in been for the kids?
Settling the saying goodbye part in South Africa was a bit hard. But within the first week or two, the kids started settling in quite nicely in the sense of acclimatization to different food types, finding out where they can and cannot go, and They actually like the fact that they got a little bit more freedom, because in South Africa we didn't give them as much freedom as we do here. I mean, we allow them to go to the park by themselves. We allow them to walk a bit ahead, which I think takes more on us than it does on them. And yeah, they are very, very happy with being able to move around freely. My kids, unfortunately, they're not in school yet, because the school ends in 2 weeks. So unfortunately, the schools did not want to take them until the new year. So they'll start mid-August. But I'm pretty sure once they start making friends, and once they actually start being part of a bigger community, they'll fit in even better. But so far, quick and easy journey for them to acclimatize to the foods and the different ways of shopping. And I mean, yeah, it's difficult to explain to someone who hasn't experienced it, but the something as simple as crossing road feels different.
No,
So yeah.
there's a lot more awareness because um, cyclists and pedestrians have a lot more rights of way here.
Well, yes, no, and people are very respectful of the road rules, which is also amazing. I mean, giving people leeway, and just it doesn't feel like there's a impatience when it comes to the use of the roads.
And your company that you're working for, BCT, is based
Yes,
in Sittard.
that is correct.
Yeah.
In the center of Sittard, they're nice, right by the city center. It's literally not even a minute walk to the city center.
And where do you live?
Myself, I stay with my family, stay in Winsum. Winsum is about 20 minutes drive from here. They're a bit more south.
Okay. And how do you get to the office every day? Do you cycle? Do you drive? Do
Current,
you?
Currently, it's all public transport, because everything is easily accessible via public transport, which makes it amazing and easy to get around. Especially because we have no form of we don't own our own car yet, and we're probably not going to for the foreseeable future, because the next purchases would probably be bicycles, because it's just so much easier to get around with bicycles everywhere. Everything in our area, and well, what I've seen in Sittard and Yodlin and all the places around us, is everything's bicycle friendly. So it's much easier to get to places with bicycles sometimes than it is by car.
So the last time we tried to do this interview, I did it with you in Sittard, but through technical difficulties, unfortunately, the audio wasn't usable. So that's why we're doing it this way. I was fortunate enough to take a few video clips of the city, but can you describe a little bit of it to the viewers and the listeners? I'll include some clips as well, but what's your impression of Sittard as a city and how just life there differs from South Africa?
Look, let me put it to you like this: it's not just Sittard. A lot of the kind of the little cities or the little towns in the south, they have got a lot of history here. So you have got antique buildings with modern buildings. It's a mixture. And the nice thing is, life here is absolutely amazing. You're surrounded by greenery around every corner and bend. There's always a park close by, for recreational purposes that you can go to. There's I don't want to say museums, but there's antiquities all around that you can actually just stare at in awe, with the architectural beauty that it provides within the landscapes. And no matter which direction you walk in, there is some or another monument that is erected that you can actually take a look at. And they commemorate a lot of their history in architecture and in art, I would say. And life here, amazing. People are friendly, they're helpful. If you don't know something, nobody's going to jump down your throat or throw you out the bus or anything like that. If you're not familiar with the Dutch language, people convert to, or well, they communicate in English quite well.
That's my next question. What kind of a language barrier is there to working there here in the Netherlands and living here in the Netherlands?
It's really not a struggle. I mean, most conversations start off in Dutch, and for me, after like an hour or two, it does get quite strenuous, and then it switches over to English. And funny enough, is sometimes I even throw a little bit of Afrikaans in there, and we all seem to communicate well and understand each other. So, but it's a general thing. Doesn't matter if you go to a shop or on a bus or anything. If you are not 100% sure of what you want to say, and just speak in English, or just make sure if the person is properly versed in English and then speak in English. 99.999% of the time, the person will communicate in English, 100% accurate.
And are you taking language lessons through IRL as well?
I am currently taking language lessons. We are with Yvonne and with Eric, and Eric is our instructor, and he is absolutely amazing. Funny enough, is we actually have a lesson tonight. So yes, we do take. There's one hour lesson a week that we do take. It does help tremendously because Eric doesn't just teach you the language that's in front of you on the sheet. He also gives you a bit of pointers because they lived here for about 20 years. So, and he makes it fun and interactive, which is amazing.
And the kids, how are the kids dealing with everything around them being in Dutch, all the other kids that they might play with being Dutch?
Somehow they find a way to communicate. My two older kids are quite versed in Afrikaans. So for them, it's a bit easier to understand. The youngest, he from a young age, he just refused to speak Afrikaans for some obscene reason that we still can't figure out. But he finds a way to communicate with everybody. I mean, they go to the park, there's a bunch of kids that meet up, and they go to the park and they all have fun together. So, yeah, I mean, he finds a way. He's actually been to a couple of travelers of school, and he also made some friends there. So, looks like they're thriving.
And are you thriving at Basite? How's the dynamic at the office?
It is amazing. I work with a bunch of really, really, really intellectual individuals. And even though there's sometimes a bit of a difference in understanding from the language side, we then just communicate clearly what is required. And I love the culture because they're quite straight up and they will not tell you anything unless they actually believe it.
What are some of the things that you're really looking forward to doing or experiencing here in the Netherlands?
Wow, there's so much. There's so many places to go visit, especially because Netherlands is based in such a place in Europe that you are centrally located to a lot of other countries. I mean, just in close proximity here is Belgium and Germany. It's easy transport to get in and out from there at the moment. We've also got Luxembourg to very far south. But even if you want to travel to Italy or Spain or anything else, unlike South Africa, where you have to travel from the Western Cape to the Free State with a 12-hour car drive, it takes you about 8-hour car drive from here to Italy, and about 11 hours you get into Spain, but then you've been through France and you've been through through a bunch of other places already. So there's a lot of the world to see, and my family and myself would love to actually travel around. Of course, it's going to be in slow bits and pieces. We're still settling in and first discovering what is local. And in a couple of months, we'll probably start broadening our horizons a bit and travel a bit further out.
Yeah, there's actually surprisingly so much to do in the Netherlands itself. Every town has its own unique thing, feel, experience. There's so many festivals throughout the year here.
And the nice thing about the towns is there's never a different town too far out. So, I mean, it's about, I drive to work from Brunsum to Sittard and I go through a different town called Mikkelbeek. And Mikkelbeek is very nice. It's more like a farming community. But they got a bunch of shops there. And it's nice because, like I said, it's a combination of the town with the history, with the nature that you see around you that makes it so breathtaking to be here.
We get this question a lot from people thinking of moving to the Netherlands. Like, will I be able to survive on the highly skilled migrant visa salary with me and my family? You are now there with your family, so you can give a little bit more perspective on that.
Look, I have got what is considered in the Netherlands is considered quite a big family. 3 kids and the missus, and we are surviving on the salary. It's not going to be your lavish lifestyle where you get to go out and you get to, experience absolutely everything to the max, and you eat out every day. It's not like a holiday experience. But if you manage it properly and you actually apply yourself to the Dutch life, and you learn to do what the Dutch do, then it gets considerably easier to live with the salary.
Yeah, the Dutch are famously very frugal. They don't buy anything unless it's on a special kind of thing.
It's not only about specials; it's about making sure that you actually need something. They don't Dutch. They don't. Well, majority of people here don't believe in credit. They actually don't purchase anything unless they save up for it. So it's a good mindset to have, and I'm absolutely trying to apply it in our daily life. But yeah, there's many places, but you have to shop around. Like nothing in nothing in Netherlands is you go to the first shop and you buy whatever there is. You always shop around. There's always some place that's got some or another special, even if you're looking for basic food necessities. Sometimes you get a better deal by one place, sometimes a better deal by another place. But also, something that I find very interesting is because you have got the capability in the Limburg area, there's a lot of people that actually do different shopping in Germany where you get products cheaper, which is amazing. They drive over to Belgium to get cheaper petrol. Then they fill up petrol in Belgium. Then they shop for certain clothing items and certain other items in Netherlands, and then they'll do their toiletry shopping, for instance, in Germany, and meat shopping in Germany because apparently it's way cheaper. So there's a bunch of ways to make the salary work for you at the end of the day. But yes, coming back to the basic question, it is enough to support a family.
Brilliant. And what has been your favorite thing about living in the Netherlands so far? What you've experienced so far?
Well, we have been to a couple of places. The biggest city we've been to is Maastricht. And in Maastricht, we actually did not get to experience everything so well because we were just there to pick up our not visas, our permits, housing permits.
Your residence permit?
A residency permit, that's the word. Thank you, Clarice. And yeah, so we went there, but it was very busy that day because it was a public holiday and there were a bunch of festivities going on. So it was a bit overwhelming after a very long flight that we had to take. So, and yeah, I mean, one of my favorite things, we went to the Kermis this weekend in Brunsum, and that was absolutely amazing. It was interesting to see the festivities and how everything operates so fluently.
Yeah,
So
the Gemeentes do a lot of effort around entertainment for their inhabitants, for the neighborhood.
that's it. But it's also just the ease of getting around. I mean, there's so many things to love about it. I absolutely love walking. So for me, I walk everywhere with especially myself, and my older son. We walk absolutely everywhere, and we make a day of it over a weekend to go find new places. We choose a direction, we walk, and we see what we can find. So, and it's always one big adventure because you come across a place that you've never been in, and you've come across a type of shop that you've never experienced. Like Krimloop is actually quite interesting. It's a secondhand shop, but they are literally secondhand on anything and everything. I mean, usually if you go to a secondhand shop, it's for like in South Africa, it's majority. It's going to be for your furniture or your appliances, clothing, books, office furniture, home furniture, whatever you want. They second hand on absolutely everything. So it's an interesting way of seeing how people do things.
And what do you really miss about South Africa? You've been there like for 6 weeks about now. What do you really, really miss?
What do I really miss about South Africa? Like I stayed in Cape Town, so for me, I do miss the beaches. It was nice just to be able to just over a weekend pop out to a beach quickly, put your feet in the water, go walk around for a bit. I miss some family. Of course, that's what we'll mostly miss is the people there. And what else do I miss is probably a good braai. That's the big thing. Braai, unfortunately, is not as big. You get a barbecue, but having a proper size grill, and I think that's the thing that I miss most. But that is soon to come as well, because we did find some South African butchers here and some meat cuts that we like. So, and all the spices that we are actually used to. So I can't wait to get that order in and then have a proper braai again.
Yes, must have a good braai. We also, it's one of the first things we bought was a proper like Weber house.
That's it. The wood ones. Now I don't have that yet, so I'm waiting for that. But yeah, that's still coming.
And have you had any strange or very funny incidents here?
Strange and funny incidents I have not been so prone to. I have had a very funny interactions with people where random people will start talking to you at random times. That we've had quite considerably. People are quite friendly and they do involve themselves. And majority of the funny things is just around family and the sentences when the kids really try out their Dutch. Actually, it's quite amazing, because they can put you in a bit of a scenario if they use the incorrect words or they enunciate their words incorrectly once you're busy shopping or anything, and you get an odd look now and then you just go like Zuid-Afrikaans, and then everybody understands. It's like so that's the interesting part about it. So the most interesting part is probably always the kids. They with their funny little characters.
Do you have you come across a favorite Dutch word that you like using quite often?
Geweldig. Geweldig is probably my favorite Dutch word at the moment. Between that and leuk, because if as long as people know it's going leuk, it's going well. People are happy. But yeah, geweldig is also one I use a lot in work. And is there any other Dutch words that I've come across? I can't really say there's any other Dutch words that specifically stands out for me at the moment.
Yeah, geweldig and leuk, it's very, very nice words. And I heard the first time I heard this word, I was very shocked. I thought this one was cursing at my daughter. She called my daughter a knuffelkont.
Oh wow! Yes, yes.
And then it means a snuggle bug, like you just like hugs. So,
yeah,
like
look, there's some words that you really don't want to say, especially because I work in a culture that also work with Belgium, which with some Belgian people and who are Flemish, and some words that mean one thing in one language. So it's always good to make sure of not to say these in specific. For instance, I mean, I don't know if this should be recorded, but if you use a poop in Afrikaans, it's farting, and if you use it here in Dutch, it means you're going to the loo for number two, and if you use that in Flemish, it actually means to have sex. So it's a completely different thing. Yeah, it's like it's a completely different thing. So it's a dangerous place to be. So,
yeah, and you also don't let the police pull you over in Afrikaans.
no, you don't want to. So it's a strange way of having to look over your shoulder, theoretically speaking, or yeah. So always just be aware that that's what I'm saying. If you don't understand the Dutch word for something, instead of taking a guess, rather speak English or maybe try the Afrikaans. But even there's some Afrikaans words that you do not want to use in the Dutch language because it has a different meaning.
Yeah, it sounds really innocent, but can have a very, very different connotation.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, it's another example is we learned this because we were just busy with our forms and stuff. In Afrikaans, when you hand in an application, it's an aansoek.
Mm.
An aansoek here is basically you're asking somebody to marry them. It's engagement proposals. You can aansoek.
That's it. It's basically because you do aansoek at the gemeente, so that's where it comes from. It's very interesting. So yeah, it's very weird in a lot of senses as well because the Dutch language sometimes feels like you have incomplete sentences, and then you still feel like you didn't complete your sentence, but everybody understands it, so then you're good to go.
Yeah, it's like they don't put the hey at the end of the word or the sentence. Like, ik wil een koffie. That's it. That's all you have to say.
That's it. And even if you want to say I'm going somewhere, usually in Afrikaans you say ek gaan huis toe of kar toe of here it's just ek ga. And where you go, not your business apparently, but ek ga.
But it sounds like you're really enjoying it. Are you looking forward to creating your life here, establishing your home base here? Because that's the whole idea. It's like you don't come here for a short term. You are coming here to set up your own life.
We're not here for a holiday. So yes, I'm very much looking forward to getting settled in. Look, you you're building up a whole new life on this side, so you can't expect that to happen overnight. So we are looking forward to the next 6 to 8 months just to settle in a bit more, get to know the different communities, maybe find a town that we actually want to move to or settle down in, and then start the hard draft of making sure that you incorporate yourself into the culture. So yes, I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to discover what else the Netherlands is hiding, because there has been a bunch of beautiful, breathtaking places that I wouldn't have expected to find here. I haven't been to very many festivals. Well, I haven't been to a festival yet. We've only been to the Kermis. So I'm still looking to get my first festival experience. I know the kids are very much looking forward to that as well.
So the
And
class is a big one. It's at the end of the year. It's
I
big for
have
kids.
heard about that, so I'm still preparing myself for that one. And but yeah, the nice thing is, again, being so close to Germany, there's also places all around and experiences all around that you can have, and I am looking forward to building all of that around us.
And what advice do you have for other people considering moving abroad from South Africa?
Do your research, make sure it is for you, and just remember there are going to be tough days in between. So if it's not for you, that's going to make it so much harder. But if it is for you, then it will make it easier for you to actually progress through those tough times. Is it worth it at the end of the day? Yes. My best advice is enjoy the journey getting here, and then make it part of your own. Make it your own. Everybody's journey is different. And whatever hiccups you have, there's always someone around that can help you that's previously done this. So you open yourself up to a community, and there's a community of us who will gladly help with whatever answers we can.
And what tips or pieces of advice do you have for people that have now gone through the recruitment process and are actually now moving to the Netherlands? What bits of advice do you have that you wish somebody had told you? Like,
I was actually very lucky. I mean, everything that Ira Olaf has put us through, Angelina has been an absolute godsend from that side, because any questions that we had, she got to almost immediately. And my advice would just be make sure your paperwork's in order, submit it correctly the first time. That helps speed up the process, and make sure to do your checklist and check it twice, just to make sure you're not missing anything off it. And that's about the best advice that I can give someone from that side moving over. Also, stock up on meat and eat as much as you can.
yeah, because you're gonna not get any meat.
Yeah, no, it's not about not getting any meat. It's just material is quite expensive, and you being frugal. It's not always the first thing that you purchase. But yes, I mean, have fun, enjoy it again, and it goes by very quickly to get yourself here. And do not stress about the things that go wrong. There's always something bound to go wrong.
Good advice, sage advice. And why would you, of all the things that you mentioned, what is the key factors on why you would recommend others use IR Olafs?
Wow. Specifically the IR Olaf component, I would say amazing service. I mean, from the time that we said, okay, well, even in the interview process, somebody's always available for any type of questions that you have. In my experience, I've had that people return the questions that I have very quickly. They also, they make sure you're prepared for whatever interview type you're going to go for, and they give you pointers. And it doesn't only stop there. Once you sign the contract, it's not, okay, hands off, here you go. They guide you every step of the way. It's been amazing because you get appointed someone that literally walks you through the different steps of this is now the part that we're at. I mean, as soon as we signed the contract to say, okay, we are signing with BCT, and BCT, well, after the offer they extended, within the first day, I got a string of emails saying these are the next steps. They actually give you the guidance blocks from our side. You have your checklist, you have everything that you need, and people are constantly checking in with you. Do you have this? Do you have that? Are you prepared for this step? They're guiding you. And like I said, have any questions? If that person can't answer that, they'll go back to the group and say, guys, this is the new something we haven't dealt with before. What can we do about it? And they go like, oh, we've previously had this, or somebody will come with an answer. So why would I recommend them? It's just because they're hands-on. Even after I've started, I mean, I've been here for just over a month and a half, And Sonia and Diana's already checked in with me. And, Reese, we got to meet each other at a nice lunch last week. And, Angelina's constantly checking in. I've spoken to Hervé once or twice. And it's just been an amazing journey of support. And that's why I would recommend Olaf. The support and the know-how and the experience they have just makes the journey so much easier.
And I think you've covered this as well. So if you don't want to answer this, because you have elaborated on it, but if you'd like to add, why do you think people should choose the Netherlands? South Africans are looking to move abroad. It's now in the news. More and more people want to move abroad. They're looking at USA, Australia, Canada, UK, New Zealand, like all the standard go-to countries that are good that way for South African immigrants. Why should they choose the Netherlands?
Look, for me, it was purely because of the kids. The Netherlands has got a very good system for the kids. So my missus and I, the majority of our decision was based on that. The other thing is the culture. It's a friendly culture where people, they allow you to be who you are, but they also join in and celebrate who you are. It's difficult to explain it more than that, but the Dutch people like to get to know people, and the culture is great. The weather so far is quite great. I heard winters is a bit rough, but I haven't experienced one yet, so we'll have to I have to keep my judgment until I actually go through one of those. But the country as a whole is run well. It's accessible. It's easy, and things just work, which is amazing.
And it is quite different, the little things in life here. But was it hard adjusting to those, or did you just need somebody to show you how to do it? For example, separating the trash, or where does it go, or buying things through the self-help at the supermarket.
Yeah, look, you get guidance everywhere, but the big thing is don't be afraid to ask. You have to ask. I mean, for the first week, we we did not separate our trash and everything else because we weren't too much aware of how exactly to do it. And then one day I just asked one of my colleagues at work, and he was like, "Okay, no, this is how you do it," and he explained. And nice thing again, once again with efficiency, is just everything on the packaging actually tells you which part it goes on. So you don't even need to worry about that. They tell you where to put it. They supply the plastic bags for you to put your plastic and your PMD stuff in. And yes, I mean, it was easy to adjust to anything as long as you're not afraid to ask questions. Going into a shop, the first time was quite a funny experience because you're looking and waiting for the cashiers, and then all of a sudden they say, no, no. They just guide you to where it is. They show you how to use the machine and everything. So it was very interesting learning curve.
Have you gotten your first little credit token for your Stasi card?
I have actually. A funny story is we make use of Jumbo for deliveries in a week, and they actually do it as well. Haven't tried them yet. The one day because we kept finding it underneath the one cupboard in the zinc. So I literally filled up a whole big action bag with bottles and just walked to Albert Heijn and just put in the bottles. And what you think is going to be one hell of a process is actually didn't even take me 3 minutes. Scans in the bottles, you press that you're done, and it spits out your little refund token.
Is there anything you think needs to still be said for listeners, people thinking of coming to the Netherlands, people that are already working through us, that are maybe going to watch this video and to learn a bit more about us and the country and the processes to make that final decision? Is there anything you'd like to still say today, maybe?
Take a risk. At the end of the day, if it is for you and your family, if you're already deciding to leave, there's a reason you wanted to leave, and that would be whatever your reason might be. It doesn't matter. Just take that risk and go for it. But make sure the country is for you, and make sure it is the decision that you want to come to that specific country. I can recommend the Netherlands to any family man out there, but it depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us today, Marcé. I really, really appreciate the effort. I'm sorry it didn't work out last time.
Well, we got to have a nice conversation, and we got to do it in a bit of a nature last time, so that was quite nice. Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us today. And for more content like this, please subscribe.